Welcome to the news you can use, episode 15. Tune in, like and subscribe. And today we got a special guest, an entrepreneur. Introduce yourself, man. Let them know who you is, man.
How y'all doing? They call me Gorilla FA producer, um, boss up, fat boy wonder. They call me some of everything.
Oh man, give them some of them names, man. Give them some of them old school names. The first nickname you had. Let them know, man.
Gorilla FA.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, how did you get into just the entrepreneurship or the music industry, the movie industry, just all the stuff that you do? Explain to the people like how'd you get your start?
Well, got my start. I say I've always done music. Like I've loved music since I was a kid. My grandmother used to have piano in our living room. You know what I'm saying? And my granddad used to play that. My granddad used to play the guitar. So I always was around music. I fell in love with music. So that was just a given that I'd be doing music. But
That's
the
dope. That's dope.
movie stuff like that is just, what I mean, like through friends looking at movies, you know what I'm saying? We just critiquing movies like, bro, we could do this, or how can we do this? And that it just came passion for me.
So we celebrating 50 years of hip hop, man. How you
Right.
feel about that? How you feel about the 50 years of hip hop? Like, just give me your
Yeah,
input on it.
it's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? Like us as black people, we don't have a lot to celebrate. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that right there is a beautiful thing. That's 50 years of hip hop. Has good and has bads in it as well, but still going. So,
It's still going. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So tell me your early years. What was like some of the first rap songs you heard as a kid, or a movie that inspired you? You know.
uh early songs back in the day. Pocket full of stones, UGK.
I got a pocket full of
Full of
stone.
stones. And I wasn't supposed to be listening to that Dr. Dre, that album way back then.
Is it the Chronic or NWA?
Chronic, the Chronic album. Like really, you know what I'm saying? Like I was sneaking listening to this music now. Like I was doing the summer, my grandma's house is none of that. We go to church from Sunday to Sunday. I'm sneaking with headphones on listening to this music. Outcast, you know, big
Yep.
influence on Outcast.
Slamming Cadillac. Those. What was before that? What was because I can't remember nothing from Outkast before that song. Like that song is what inspired me.
What song was it? You trying?
Pulling up, slamming Cadillac doors. Don't me and you. Yo mama and your cousin too. Rolling down the strip on Bows. Turn around, slamming Cadillac. That inspired
Yeah,
me so hard. It made me, man.
yeah, Cadillac playlist. Yeah, definitely.
That was on the radio. I'm from California, I'm from LA, and in Compton, man, we embraced Outkast like they was from the city. You know what I'm saying?
It's because of their style. It wasn't that traditional, just Southern. You know what I'm saying? Southern style. They had their own style, and it related across the world.
Man, that was some of the dopest. I remember that. I remember that song with like I Rule the World, Nas,
Nah, yeah,
um, Tupac, All Eyes. Like they up there with that. When they
yeah,
dropped that song was playing with Biggie, Biggie, Biggie. Can't you see? They
yeah,
legends,
yeah. Definitely
legends. They
living legend.
competed with the best. I think that was the best era of hip hop. What era of hip hop was your favorite?
That we're
Right
we're
there.
on the same
So,
page right there.
but see, I was young. I was a kid. I was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 growing up. In the '90s. You were a little bit older than me then. So, what was like? Did it impact you the way it impacted me, or what?
Yeah, definitely did. Like I say, you gravitate towards what's good. People can't help but gravitate towards too. and like I was a music junkie, so that right there just had me hooked.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, like, do you got a favorite song from that era that you can remember? Like how I remember all them songs in rotation on the radio. Because I'm speaking from a radio point of view when we had radio, when we really listened to the radio. You know,
Honestly, I couldn't, but if the song came on, I guarantee you I could sing it. But just like to try to pick one, I couldn't.
you can name a few like that was in rotation at that time when Outkast, when they dropped. Because that song was different. That remind me of like when 3 6 Mafia came out with sipping on some scissor. You know what I'm saying?
That was
It
around that time.
stood out like boom.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
right. Chicken head, all that. Yeah, with 3 6, all that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Chicken head, it hit because we was calling girls chicken heads for sure. Pop, pop, chicken head. We used to say that like as at school, like you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. Playing around. That's how they came. But yeah,
That's how dope music was at that time and that point. I That's why when people say like, do you like the new school of rap or the old school? I'm like, it's the same stuff. It's just they don't got those one songs that made you catch chills, but they do got those bop bop chicken heads. Like they took they I feel like the new generation gravitated towards the 3 6 Mafias, the franchise, the Soldier Boys. Like that style is like more popular than trying to be like a Jay Z or you know what I'm
they're
saying, a
not.
Jeezy.
They're not trying to be. They're not as much trying to be lyrical. It's
No, I think
that's what
they
it is.
steered
They're
so
not
far away from that, right?
right. It's not much lyrical. It's a vibe, And as being a producer, I understand that it's not so much. Like me personally, I love lyrics. So, but with them, it's that vibe, and if they get that vibe right, it'll take off. It'll go. Just to be
Yes, sir.
the way it is.
I'm an artist myself, and I got music that you could just vibe to.
You muted. You heard me.
So I feel like as an artist, I got a little bit of both. Like, I got songs that's like macking and stacking. Then I got songs that's like
You went muted
I got
again.
music that's like you killing niggas that look just like you, but you think that they don't like you. So it's a little different. How do you feel about that right now? Do you feel like it's a balance?
Say that one for me one more time because you actually got muted on me for a second.
Okay. Do you feel like it's a balance in hip hop right now? Like, I made songs that's just talking about like macking and stacking. Then I made songs that's like, you killing niggas that look just like you, but you think that they don't like you. Do you think it's a difference or a balance?
Uh, no, it's not really a balance no more. Like at the end of the day, now, hate to say it, but a lot of this is just some. I do drugs, bang bang, shoot them up, twerk.
Yeah,
You
it's a lot of
know,
that. It's a lot of that. You
it's
know,
more.
um,
It's more saturated with that than anything.
man, out of the females, I feel like this artist, Aloha, the real Aloha, is one of the hottest artists. I'm gonna get her to jump in, so at the end of the interview, where we could chop it up. But yeah, man, it's a lot of artists out there that make negative music, but they don't never come with a positive. I don't mind you saying this, that, and this, but if you're not gonna give a conclusion, then it's like you're just pushing the wrong thing. Do you feel like
But
that?
they can't give a conclusion because 9 times out of 10, that's what they're living. You know what I mean? So it's just gonna be that until you change. You know what I'm saying? How you can't change what you're speaking on until you change how you're living.
That's a fact. That's a fact. My whole thought and process once I, you know, got a little older was like, I'm gonna give them the backstory. So I want to tell them about from when I was young up until now. I don't want to just be preachy off top. You know, I got a song out right now called God Got You, and it's on that kind of, I would say, the preachy level. But I got songs talking about I'm back on that bullshit when I wasn't feeling how I'm feeling now. And I think me putting this old music out first to let the audience grow with me would make more sense than me just jumping out as a hypocrite.
Right. Right. You're right on that because it's a journey. So they see where you started and where you ended up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They take their journey with you, basically.
So when, like, tell me, how did you get started? Like, what was the first time you got indulged in like hip hop, or the first time you started doing the entrepreneur? You know, just break it down to the people.
So really, with music, I got started. My cousin was a producer,
Okay.
and one of his good friends is Killer Mike. So they always used to be together, working together, this, that, and the third. And I was rapping before that, but then actually linking up with them and doing some work with them, like it I don't know, like I said, it just took me to another level. I started rapping. I was rapping for a minute. I was doing shows, Pastor Troy, Lil Scrappy. I was doing shows back then with them, and then I got into some trouble. So set me down for a second. You muted.
Set you back a little bit. So how you feel about the new era of hip hop, the sexy reds, the gorillas? Because females run hip hop.
Right. So let's see. How do you
I
answer?
know why you laughing. Yeah, come on, cute. Come on, it's your boy, man. Tell me your real feelings. We got daughters. How do you feel? Because look, I'm gonna say this first, so you get where I'm coming from. I like Gangsta Boo. I like Trina. I like Lil Kim. I remember when Nicki Minaj first came out. But how do you feel about this new era of the Gorillas, the Sexy Reds, the Krishan Rocks, the Ruby Rose? Like, how you feel about them?
I
The
like
Megan the Stallions.
I like Gorilla.
Good answer. Good answer.
I do. I like
Elaborate though.
like
Tell me how
seriously
you
though. I
really
do
feel.
like she ratchet, but she hood ratchet, but she ain't just you know what I'm saying? She still got some class about herself.
And I think that you got to have some class with it. Now, we all know females, like all of them, right? Don't we know females when we grew up? Like, oh, she remind me of somebody I used to know. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's why I don't be so hard on them. I'll be like, well, I know somebody just like you, and I loved her in person, but you know, it is what it is, right?
Like it is exactly. It is what it is, and it really doesn't bother me. It's just the fact that I'm a father now. I got a
That's the
girl.
part.
You know what I'm saying? Little girl. So I got a little girl, niece, you know what I mean? All that. So nah, some stuff just like hit the radio and it's automatically getting switched. But if I was in the
That's
car,
facts.
but if I was in the car by myself, I would let it play.
I'm smacking it because a
Right.
lot of the. How do you feel about the male music? I can't think of an artist in my head that I'm messing with. I know Rod Wave. Rod Wave give you old school chills like listening to Tupac. But other than that, who do that for you?
Like music right now that I actually listen to and I ride to, Done Trip.
That's who you messing with right now?
Hard. Like been messing with it for a minute, but even harder so like that man's dropped.
Now,
Hella
this
project
not a new
just this
artist that
year.
I listen to. He's not new, but I've been following Currencies. You know Currency, the hospital Currency.
Uh-huh.
Uh, he was with Lil Wayne, Cash
Yeah.
Money.
I know what
He
you're
with
talking
No
about.
Limit. I've been listening to Currency fight for the last 8 to 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just because of the kind of the motivation it give me, and the knowledge, and just the thought of the longevity, and like how long it took him to get to the point that he is now without having to sell out. How do you feel about artists like that? Like, that stuck to their core fan base and thugged it out?
They're reaping the best rewards right now because a lot of them are probably independent, but they've built that, like you said, their core fan base, and that's all you need. Once you do that, that's all you need. Now you booking out shows, you're not splitting it with a record label. You know what I mean? All that. You may have a manager, okay, he gets his cut, but other than that, you cutting out the business. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's smart. They thug it out and they reap the benefits.
Yes, sir. So on the news, you can use podcasts after the first 15 minutes, 4 minutes and 20 seconds. We get to light that Uber Wabba Zaba Zaba up. You know what I'm saying right there?
I got to roll one.
I got my boy Gorilla Hefe in the building. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta it's only right, you know what I'm saying? So like what is some of the first projects you worked on? Some of the first music, some of the artists that you dealt with? Go on in
One of the first artists, like I said, that I ever worked with was Killer Mike. You know, that's when I was rapping. We got a song, Get It Off the Muscle, back in the day. Um,
what's the name of the song? Come on, Hefe, let them know. You gotta
I
let
get
them
it.
know where to
I
go.
said it. I said I get it off the muscle. That's you know what I'm saying. Like that was the name of the song back then. Then I've done a lot of stuff. Like I write as well. So I wrote for Michael Key from 112.
Okay.
Um, man, like I've been in the studio with so many people before. It's crazy. Like just like not even that. Just like being a fly on the wall. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just taking heed of sessions with big name people.
So what was your first experience in the studio? Like your first experience recording a song? Break that down to me. No matter where it was, if it was in somebody's bathroom, backyard, upstairs, them, we all started in the basement.
Why you playing? It actually was. It was in I was in high school. I think I was probably I was driving, so I think I was in the 10th grade.
Okay.
Me and the guy I went to school with, we wrote a song and we went in the studio with somebody's house. We went in the studio and recorded it. I think that was my very first, yeah, that was my very first time recording. And then after I did that, that's when I went to my cousin. My cousin always had a studio.
Okay. So what was that first song? Do you remember it?
Um, ooh.
How
Let me
that
see.
motherfucker go, nigga? Give us a
I'm
couple bars, cause that's history, man.
but you know what? Honestly, I can't. It's been so long, I can't remember. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I can't. It's been that long.
It
But
be like that sometimes.
I didn't. Yeah. Then I blow too much. So I don't know.
Hey, I know what you mean, right?
Right.
So those early days of recording music and going to your cousin's spot, which song was it for you to be like, man, I really could do this shit?
Um, I had a song called "If You Really Want a Buck." And that was back then. That's when fight music was. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah. Them
Yeah.
little
So
them crunk days.
yeah. So it was that, and people gravitated towards it and they liked it. You know what I mean? That's when I started doing shows here. I'm here, I'm everywhere, Alabama. Miss, you know what I mean? I'm everywhere doing shows. And that right there said that, you know what I mean? Okay, you can really do this. But like my cousin used to tell me all the time, you gotta sit down, you gotta stay out the streets.
Yes, sir. So what was that street element like? Were you into the streets before the music? Like what took you into the music to get you out of the streets?
What took me into the music to get me out of the street? It wasn't really the music that took me out of the streets because I was when I was doing music back then, I was still 1 foot out, 1 foot in. Some money call, I could be in a studio session. Some money call for the right price, I'm gone. I'll be
He
back.
said, I'm out of the studio.
Yeah, I'll be back. And my cousin used to cuss me out about that all the time. See, man, you be bullshitting. This, that, no, I gotta go get this money.
Look, every real street niggas who was getting money in the streets, the studio was the trap too, right?
Yeah, but now, because my cousin went into all that like that.
Oh, so you had to be respectful to your cousin. Shout out your cousin. You ain't said his name yet, man. Let the people know. Shout out your cousin, man, because he seemed
My
like he was
cousin
a
Jeff.
good
Yeah,
influence.
my cousin Jeff. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They used to call him football. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm gonna need
yeah,
an
that was
interview
him.
with.
Like
I'm gonna need an interview with football because football sound like, man, he had it already figured out
he
before
did because
everybody.
no, don't get it twisted because he went into the dope, but he still did his thing on a lot of things.
Right.
He just went into the selling dope and all that other stuff like that.
Which we commend at this point. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I come from y'all era selling the dope, my era being the mom who's doing the dope, and I'm the kid that come from the product of the dope. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
in my end, I get the shit in, y'all get the money, but then I sell dope to somebody's mama, and then they kid. You know what I'm saying? So it was a cold cycle that was going on. You know what I'm saying? So I don't glorify who sold dope or who not. I just glorify the fact that he had a fucking studio for you to come to. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So early days of trapping, what was that like, man? You was out there getting that money, man. Go tell your story, man, Q.
I ain't got no story.
Statutes of limitations is,
I ain't
is
got no
way
story.
past.
I ain't got no stories, but
Did,
no, you know
did,
what I mean?
what-
It was
did you
just,
have
man,
BMF dreams, or did you get to a plateau?
it wasn't about BMF dreams and nothing like that. It was about I need some money.
I hear
Yeah,
we
I,
uh,
I
we
need
all been there. We all
I
been
need
there.
some money. So and I know I can do this to get some money and I'm gonna get some money. Hit mama with some money on the bills. You know what I'm saying? Like I need some money. That's what it
Hey,
was
look,
about. I wasn't trying to be no, I wasn't out here trying to shine, do none of that. I get some money and lay low.
I was trying to shine. So after I make 2,500, I go buy a nice chain, a Regal, a Cutlass. I got 5 cars. I could never get to 10 pounds because by the time I got to 1 pound, I didn't already fucked the money off.
Fuck the
Now I
money
got to
off.
start from an ounce all over again. So I wasn't good. I had
You know what
no
I mean?
no. You know what I'm
Don't get me
saying?
wrong. You know what I mean? I had a chain. You know what I mean? The white gold was that was the thing back then. I had a
Talk
white gold
your
chain.
shit, Q. I'm trying to get you to tell because we all was trapping, but some of us were really good at that shit at all. You know what I'm saying? Now you
Right.
might have made 15,000 at one time. Me, I'm telling you, the most I probably had was 1,800. I had it in the shoebox. I was buying pounds of weed and doing my thing. Statutes limit. I went to jail for this shit, so I don't give a fuck. Uh, and my baby mama is taking hundreds, which was my girlfriend at the time, and she admitted later, like, you weren't giving me that much money, so when you put that money in the shoebox, I was skimming on top of that. And I was taking about an
That
ounce every week from you.
see that right there can never happen, man. Because with me, like I double count the money. I triple count the money. I know, like to this day, I'm still like that. My old lady can tell you now.
Man,
To
I
this day,
didn't know how much
I
money
can,
I made.
nigga, I can be drunk as hell. I go out. I can be drunk as hell and go out. Know what I spent. Know what I have in my pocket when I get home. To wake up the next morning, I can tell you what the fuck I had. You're not gonna tell me nothing different.
Look, I used to be trapping in Compton, right? And it's dangerous. Motherfuckers get killed, shit going on. So every day I made it home, before I went home, I went and bought me a bottle. I got me some good chronic or whatever. And I go home and get faded. And by the next day, I didn't remember what the fuck I had last night. I know I sold out. I know everything was gone. I know I put my money in the shoebox. I know I counted it, but I didn't write down exactly how much I made. And
Yeah,
if for her to take
I had some.
if she took $40 or $50, I would have never noticed ever. You know what
I
I'm
had
saying?
forgetful times like that, but it wasn't with my forgetful times. To be like, okay, I'll put some money up and hide it from myself sometime and won't know where I hid it at. You know what I mean? When I went to jail, when I went to prison, my mom was cleaning out my room
Mm.
She found a cutie. She found a cutie in the shoebox in my closet. I forgot it was
Okay.
there. I forgot it was there. Going through all the shit that I was going through, I forgot it was up
Yeah,
there.
that was me. She, she, all the shit I'm forgetting about, all the extra little change and money I done came through with. She's been, and you know, when I realized that my money wasn't growing, I'm like, damn, I counted my money one day and I had the same amount of money I had last week. And I said, damn, she done got me for like 1,000.
Hell no.
You
Voodoo.
know, this Nickelback days, so I really had to sell this shit. You know, you
Too
break down a pound
fast.
of Nickelbacks, that's like 1,000 sacks. You know what I'm saying? So I'm outside from sun up to sun motherfucking down to make this kind of money. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because back then Nicks was what, point fives? So yeah.
Only niggas that was selling weed smoke chronic. We the only ones could afford it. So we sell our stress. Then we go to the chronic man to get us an eighth for $50, $75. You know what I'm saying? This shit wasn't cheap like it is now. It's not
Right.
cheap now.
It
I
ain't
feel
cheap
like
now.
right now it's going backwards. It's
It
going
ain't
back
even that.
towards the.
The quality of the shit ain't good. And then when somebody do get their hands on the quality, they go tax you for it.
Man, you're gonna be paying
You know what I
about
mean?
30 $40 for an eighth.
You up there, you know what I'm saying? So y'all can go in dispensaries.
You know, up here, and I want the world to know, man, they got the best weed in the world up north. I'm from LA. We had the good chronic. When I came to the Bay, they had the good purple. So if you ever
That's
seen
what the thing
purple
was
weed,
down here back in the day, Perk.
if you ever seen purple weed, it came from up north. And if you got it
Granddaddy
from
Perk.
up north, they called it grapes. And sometimes it was all green and had a little bit of purple on it, but that was the best weed you ever smoked in your fucking life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Taste wise, high wise, next level. You know what I'm saying? They don't
Exactly.
got that around here no more because all these different flavors, the cookies, the blah 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 blah, the names, it's
Right.
watered down the weed. So it's like if you know somebody, and if you don't, you smoking that regular shit everybody else
That's
smoking.
I said that's gonna be my next venture. That's what I've been talking to my old lady about. Like purchasing some land somewhere where it's legal and starting to strain and grow.
Go up north, go to Humboldt County up that way where they got it, where you can mingle with the folks. And
I'm talking like I think it's somewhat legal in Miss somewhere. I think. See, like somewhere down here, like where it's legal. I'm gonna go down. You know, me, I'm a Southern boy, so I'm gonna stay down south.
if you want the best product, go up north. I'm gonna tell you where it come from. If you ever hit that real bomb, it came from down this way, a seed, something. They got it from up here. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was
Mhm.
grew somewhere else, they got the seeds in the soil from here. Cause this shit right here, that rain. I showed you the rain. The way that rain and this weather hit, it just grow the
Mhm.
perfect shit. You know what I'm saying? This is harvest season.
I seen some
So
shit. I seen some shit on the internet where they grow a goddamn 6 foot plants out there.
it's harvest season right now, man. You go buy a pound out here for like $300-400 of that bomb.
Right
You
out
know what I'm
there.
saying? Then we
Right,
come to where you at. We come to where you at. We charge forty
twenty five
five
hundred
hundred.
dollars. All right, I
Forty
was about to say,
five
let's go
hundred
start at 25.
Uh, for the bullshit. 25 for that thriller in Manila. You want 5,000 for that? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Out here, I'm gonna pay. You know, I ain't gonna show the whole bag, but turkey bags. That's all I smoke out of is a turkey bag, my nigga. You know what I'm saying, Q? I don't touch nothing but turkey. My mama got turkey bags. You know what I'm saying? When you run into a nigga from the bay and he pull out some weed, he not gonna pull out a little sack or a little pouch. It's gonna be a turkey bag. He gonna have a backpack with a turkey bag on it. You know what I'm saying? You got a pound in that
And
motherfucker.
they can pull y'all over with all that and they ain't gonna say shit.
And we legal. We legal. They can't do nothing about it. I got a grower's license. I could grow up to 80 plants. So I'm good with a pound on me. You know what I'm saying? A
You can
QP
grow
is
up to 80
legal.
plants.
80 plants. It's some perks out here if you really, you know what I'm saying? But let's get back to the music. Let's get back to the essence. Um, the news you can use is to give people their flowers. And Q, you've done so much in the time that you've done it, whether you got $1 million or 1 million followers, that you deserve your flowers. So I'm giving you your flowers right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what the
I
news is. That's what this is about for
appreciate it.
everybody I do interviews with. You know what
I
I'm
definitely
saying?
appreciate that. Thank you.
So we as hip hop in 50 years, we appreciate your contribution to the game because you contributed some stuff. But tell us about how you connected with these artists and how you had these relationships. You started with, I started in the studio with my cousin. Where did it go from there?
Started in the studio with my cousin. My godmother, called my aunt.
Okay.
She was a music manager. She had a group called Soul. They were signed
Okay,
to
it's your aunt. We need to know her name though. What's auntie name, man?
call it Sweet Tea.
Sweet Tea. Okay, Sweet Tea had a group. Let's go.
Yeah, called Soul. They were actually signed to a major label, major deal. They did 106 in Park, all type of stuff. Like I was on the street team for them with her. So when they was going around, I was going around with them, shows, passing out shirts, doing all type of stuff with them. It went from there to she had me in the studio with Nick Cannon, Nivea at one point in time. Just everybody, like I said, just being a fly on the wall and just making connections and starting to connect with people, and it just went from there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So starting with your auntie, Sweet Tea, and her group, and they got the deal. They went to BET. Did that inspire you to continue to go further? Because they might have stopped at a certain point. Is Sweet Tea still doing her thing?
Sweet Tea is still doing her thing, but Sweet Tea rarely touches music. She very selective now, you know what I'm saying? But she's definitely doing her thing. Like she's a mogul right now in this real estate game. She's
Killing it.
killing it.
So a lot of people around the world don't know about the ATL, but right now, if you ask me, Atlanta been having the ball ever since the West Coast lost it. Y'all been having the ball, and we never felt no type of way because everybody that's from LA is from the South. You know what I'm saying? We from the South. You got a lot of country ass niggas from Compton and Watts and shit. Like we country than a motherfucker. I talk properly. I'm on here, but when I'm popping my shit, you know what I'm saying? You'll be like, yeah, that nigga got some family down south. My grandfather was from South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? I got family in Georgia, Texas. You
Shout
know
out,
what
shout
I'm saying?
out to Texas, right?
And we embrace that. A lot of people from Watts, they from New Orleans. They came from New Orleans to LA long time ago and moved in Watts because they had the projects over there. So they moved from one project to another one. You know
Another
what I'm saying?
project, right?
Yeah. And we embrace the culture in Compton and Watts like no other. I'm sure a lot of South Central and other areas did too. But tell me what it was like when during that Hot Boy era, because the Hot Boys was probably the most influential group in in California. I don't know about everywhere else, but for us,
So yeah,
that
Soldier Boys and Reeds. Oh, we was
man,
wearing Reeboks and got
I didn't stop wearing Reeboks till like 2012. You know what I'm
Jabot,
saying?
Jabot
Jabot
jeans,
jeans, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
right? And then
Like
I
a
was
lot
good.
of our
Then I was
swag,
bigger
the
than my
Baby Mace,
homeboy.
all
My
that.
homeboy used to buy jeans of my size, and we used to swap them out. Like
Could you
yeah,
imagine 15-year-old me in a 2X t-shirt?
right.
You know what I'm saying? So tell me about that influence, because that was more of that was more like I my first song I heard growing up was that gravitated to that I was like this is my shit was Snoop Dogg. It was that bow wow wow yippee yo yippee yay, the sound of a dog coming from another day.
Another day.
That was I was
Slave
like, what
to
the fuck
the
is that? And then
Yeah,
that's
that
when
Snoop,
I was like,
that Dog Pound album. Yeah, yeah.
that was probably his Snoop Dogg first album during like Murder Was the Case
The
type shit.
taste.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? I heard a little bit of Dr. Dre Chronic album, a little bit, because my cousin had the tape and he was way older than me. So I was loving that. But I was able to go get that Snoop tape myself. You know what I'm saying?
right.
At
Like I
seven
said,
and
I
eight,
told you I used to sneak and listen to music, man. I used to get it like we'll go to the down here we go to the flea market,
flea
and
market.
they had the tapes at the flea market. So I've been the corner. I already know what I'm looking for, pretty much, kind of sort of. Been the corner and bing, buy me a tape real
Yes,
quick.
sir.
Come back around and just be sneaking and listen to music
That's crazy.
that I would know I wasn't supposed to listen to.
You know you were
No, oh no, if I get caught, it's a problem. Matter of fact, she took one. I remember my grandmama taking the tape. What was it?
like, nah, I'm throwing this away, right?
I think it might have been the pocket full of stones.
So I'm taking your
I
UGK
had it
tape.
probably about a week or two when she caught it.
Damn.
Yeah,
So what do you feel like when you started in music, you was already doing your thing before trap music even was a thing, right?
yeah. I was when trap music came in 20 years. Yeah, I was right around there. Yeah, I was probably starting up doing what I was doing when that shit was coming out. Yeah,
What was it like to see BMF and Big Meech and Jeezy? They got the world is mine sign on the right by the airport. What was that like for you, being from Atlanta? Not an outside looking in.
like I say, I was never really the flashy type, so it didn't do nothing for me. Them boys getting money. You know what I mean? I commend them on that. Them boys getting money. Okay. But other than that, it wasn't nothing I seen. It's like, oh yeah, I gotta do that.
Did it have an impact on the culture in the city?
Yeah, yeah, because back then, yeah, the city they was putting on. You know what I mean? There was money flowing through the city real heavily. They was putting on. They was getting it.
What was it like before that? Before they glorified what was going on, because I'm sure it was going on before that, because you was trapping before Jeezy and all these people even got on for you to see them. So, but what was it like before that? Was it already Beamers and Bentleys and shit going on out there in Atlanta was booming, or was it like after
It
that
wasn't.
it took it to the next level?
It wasn't a lot of Beamers and Bentleys and motherfuckers booming. You know what I mean? Like even when motherfucker was booming, a lot of people was just getting money. You know what I mean? You'll have some of them like the flashy ones. You know what I mean? They ride around the Beamers, old school Beamers, and all that Acuras. You know what I'm saying? That's what back then. People like the Acuras and all that. That was a status symbol in the car.
You got to act right.
Yeah, but but no, they took it to a new level.
So after BMF took over the city, you had a new wave come out. You had you had the Migos, you had I Love McCannon, you had all these different artists. What was that? Because that's when I was like, I want to go to Atlanta. I wanted to come out there. I was like, that's where I would fit in at, because what I was doing at the time, I was doing gang bang music, but I was doing alternative music. I was doing all kind of shit at the same time. I was doing trap music from Compton because I really was a trapper. So when I
Right.
heard trap music, nigga, I had the Rigo on dubs. I'm 15 years old. I got a Rolly chain. I got respect. I got enemies. You know what I'm saying? So that shit
Yeah,
identified with me like, nigga, I had to protect myself. I had to, this is at the time when niggas will leave your car on bricks. They'll steal your rims, all that. And that
yeah.
didn't happen to me. You know what I'm saying? A
Niggas
nigga
hit the
took
whole
my
parking lot
chain.
down here.
Look, I let a nigga wear my chain and I wore his chain. And one of my homies got mad because he was Mexican and robbed him in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Never did it to me, but this is that era. You know what I'm saying?
Jeez.
Nigga
Right.
robbed a nigga for my shit in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Because I let him weird. That's how much the hate was. So how did like what it was for you? Because you was probably a little older, but I was full fledged in that shit. Like when Jeezy came out with that album, I felt every word. I was living it.
I felt, you know what I mean, that Jeezy album, yeah, that shit was dope. You know what I mean? Like that's just ride to. That was like the Bible at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
you
ain't
just
gonna
listen to
lie.
that shit, right? Yeah, that was it. But
So come on, hit me with a cue. I know you got something to say. Come on.
no, not really. But like I said, that album, you know what I'm saying? Like at one point in time, that was like the Bible. You listen to that shit, like he was preaching some real shit. And some of the shit go over people's head because you weren't really in this, you don't know what was going on.
Man, I was knee deep in that shit, man. I was so deep into it that I was scared I wasn't gonna live to 20 because I was winning. You know what I'm saying?
My mom
And
used to
I was
always tell
kissing
me,
ass. You know what I'm saying?
my mom
I
used
was
to always tell
kissing
me
ass.
this. She'd be like, you gonna be in jail or in hell before you 21. You gonna be in
Man,
jail or in hell before you 21. My mom used to always tell me that. Keep it up. You gonna be in jail or in hell before you 21. I proved it right. That's fucked up. I love you,
I was
mama. I'm
already
sorry.
kicked out the house by then. You know what I'm saying? I'm 16, 17. I was out the house by then. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
man, I graduated and goddamn got locked up months later after I graduated.
I still graduated, but I was in them streets 100% just like you was. We was outside, nigga. It ain't like this era right now with these kids in the house. We had Ataris, we had PlayStation and shit. Yeah, we played that shit, but we played that shit while we was trapping, making some money. We didn't play that shit not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Most of the time we was riding around just man. I was on some other shit. And what I went through, you know what
But
I'm saying? Me having me them folks sitting me down made me realize, no, this ain't what you want to do. This ain't what you want. I had to see it to believe it.
I got set down a couple times, but it was like a month and 2 months, 3 months, little small bullshit. Sometimes it was like a possession or some shit. But watching my homies get sentenced to 35 years and 10 years and 18 years woke me up to like I don't want to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? So I was
Definitely.
one of those people who the OGs was like, man, learn from other people's examples. And I was like, my daddy already was in. Well, while I was growing up, my daddy was fighting life for a murder. So he didn't get out of jail till I was 13. Once he got a acquittal or whatever happened for him to beat the life sentence. So I
Right.
already had a thought in my mind, I can't be like him. You know what I'm saying? I had a
Exactly.
good example of a person that I went to go see every other week in jail. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Like
I
it's
don't
fucked
remember
up
him
that it's like
outwardly.
that you had that, you know what I mean? That you seen that, but that opened your eyes up to it. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to see it without really having to really go sit down for a minute and see it. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought it was a joke, man. Real shit. I thought it was a joke the whole time until we sitting there and I said, well, we sitting there in the holding cell. I see dude walk in with a suit on, and he walk in the office and he talking to the other people in the office, the detectives and shit. He take his suit jacket off and put on one of the police jackets, then come try to talk to me. I'm such and
That blew
such.
your mind, didn't it?
I'm such and such from the police department. You want to talk to me before the federal government gets here? Nah, I ain't got nothing to say to you. You think I'm stupid? I just seen you switch jackets. Nope.
It's a cold game. So coming into that new era, like I said, the Rich Homie Quan, the Young Thugs, the Amigos, the Metro Boom, the producers, the artists, the I Love McKinnons. That was one of my favorite artists. I Love McConaughey. Um, the like what was that like? The Pee Wee Longways. You know what I'm saying? Pee Wee, man. I
Still
fuck with
going.
Pee Wee the long way, man.
Right. I'm about to say still going.
Hey, man.
He
You know
just
what I'm
dropped
saying? I don't
something
want
not
to
too
say
long
too
ago.
much, but
Late
I fuck
last
with Pee Wee the long way. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
I feel you.
Some of my people was up there and influenced that movement that they had going to start that shit. And I told my boy the other day, if I would have came up there, I would have for sure had some influence on Atlanta culture with this other shit that I was doing. You know what I'm saying? I would have came
Right,
out there, nigga, had my own squad, all that shit. Like nigga would have turned that bitch up. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. You know what I'm saying? On the left side for sure. I'd have made sure, nigga, I planted my seed out there. But
right.
I didn't get a chance to come through because I was so infatuated with the hood. Was it like that for you? Were you able to leave the hood and go other places and do other things in other states and cities?
It wouldn't it wouldn't even fact of like being in the hood, man, because you know what I'm saying? Like my mama moved me out of the hood. We stayed in the hood, you know what I'm saying? But then she moved me out of the hood. And I was going to school with, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't majority black schools, you know what I'm saying? So it really wasn't the hood. It was still just the fact about survival. I just, you know what I mean? Like what had me doing what I was doing was I need some money. So
Facts.
I can't say, you know what I'm saying, it was like getting out the hood because okay, we out the hood, but you know what I'm saying, we still struggling. So I ain't we ain't no better than the next person.
That's facts. So, what do you think the Atlanta movie scene in the music scene is like now? Because I know y'all had, you know, the dirt on my boots, the snow on the bluff. Shout out JT. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it like now?
The movie say like Atlanta is what they call it now, Black Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the new thing now. They call Atlanta Black Hollywood, which it is because there's a lot of movies being shot down here, and like you'll be surprised. Like they shot a movie up the street when I was staying. You know what I'm saying? We had moved back down. You know what I'm saying? In the hood, they shot a movie right up the street from the house. I mean, literally right up the street. The Hate You Give. You know what I'm saying? They shot that movie up the street from my crib when I was staying over there, but the movie scene is taking off. You know what I mean? The music scene is cool. We got some people that's coming out, and it's like I don't listen to all of them, but you know what I mean? Like it's I can't like I really can't even name them like that. But if I hear a good song, you know what I mean? I'm gonna give them that. That shit hot.
That's facts. That's facts. So, who are some of the artists you working with or that you worked with before?
Like I say, I wrote Mike Key from 112. Right now I work with Jizzle from the Franchise Boys and Sammy Sam, Hitman Sammy Sam. They're actually working on a collab project right now. I'm doing a lot of production on, and that's my main focus right now.
So, what are you doing right now? Just production?
Yeah, production. That's
So,
really
what
why I'm
does
like,
that entail exactly? Like, get the people that they don't know what production means.
just
Break it
basically
down
just
for them,
getting in the
Q.
studio and just working with the artists. You know what I mean? They have an idea. I come up with a beat from around the idea, or you know what I mean? I play some beats that I've sat at the house and made, or was at another studio and made, and you know what I mean? We just go from there. They like the beat, you know, it's just a process. They, you know, they write to it, we lay it down, and we get it right.
That's
You know what I
facts.
mean? That's really about what it is, production. I'm a real producer though, because I like, you know, it's a lot of beat makers. I know, I mean, don't get me wrong. Shout out all the beat makers. You know what I mean? That just make beats. Like I like to get in. I actually like to get in the studio and work with the artist.
Oh, Q, I got a good question. So
Mm-hmm.
I work with a lot of different producers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of these producers don't know how to cater to my what I want to do. I can rap to any beat, right? I rap to anything you give me. But it's not gonna be what exactly what my vision is or what I want to do or what I hear in my head or what I want my album to sound like. What do you think about that? Are they taking away from the artist's creativity, trying to make they sound like a JD or like a Timberland? They want their sound to be up front. What do you think that is?
No, not necessarily like they're taken away from because you know, really when you're working with a producer, it's like y'all, it's like you're clapping, basically. You know what I mean? So you hear something, but as well, that producer's actually in the studio working with you, he probably hears something as well. So I wouldn't say it's taken away, you know what I mean? Like it's you throwing ideas at each other and like, oh, that could work, or what about this? You know what I'm saying? It's not taken away from it, it's just suggestion. What can we do to elevate this song even more?
That make a lot of sense. That make a lot of sense. You know, I'm not talking about that though. I'm talking about you tell somebody specifically, look, I want this at this tempo. I want I want the piano to ride. Dun, 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 dun. I want that shit to wave, and then they make you a beat and it don't sound nothing like what the fuck you said. It's totally opposite. It's not your style. It's not what you wanted to do. How do
That's
you
not
feel about that?
that's not it then. And there's nothing wrong with you telling them that. No, bro, that's not it.
That's facts. That's facts. But I feel like some producers get into I just want to do this or I just want to do that or you know what I'm saying. I want to make this type of music. If you a producer, you supposed to cater to the artist. Am I wrong or am I right?
You're right. You're totally right. Like, man, I come down here sometime work and I make a pop beat. I may sit down here and make country beats. You know what I mean? I went to still just make all type of beats. There's no one particular thing that I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do until I sit in front of the computer and start working.
Look, I had somebody tell me I should make a hip hop country song, and I'm a crit. See, I don't think I'm gonna go there, Q. You hear me? Look, I'm gonna go there.
Go there.
I, I'm older now, and I'm promoting the godlight and the positivity and all that. You know what I'm saying? But through the years, when I wasn't, a lot of people was trying to steer me somewhere else, which is great. It's great to try to push me to be better. But if I'm good at something and it's marketable and it's gonna sell and it's gonna work, why would you push me away from the money?
That's a question I can't answer. That's crazy. That why would they?
I mean, morals is important, but if I say Q, man, we could take over if we do this. If we do this, we the niggas. And you say, nah, we're not gonna do that, sir, God, because this, that, and is it like are you scared to be them niggas? Or like, because just because we do this doesn't mean that's who we are. We always can push our real narrative through that message, through that situation. But if we got a wave in a lane, don't you think we should capitalize and step on the gas on that motherfucker?
Like you said, like you know what I mean, some people morals just don't, you know what I'm saying? Won't don't they don't want to go that way with it. Like, no, like, okay, yeah, if we do this, we could be that nigga, we could be them niggas, but what is this is we gotta do? You know what I'm saying? To make a
What do we
motherfucker be
gotta
like, wait a minute.
sacrifice? We ain't sacrificing nothing though, because it ain't like we sitting here. It's not like you production, you the beat, or you the manager, or any of that. And I'm telling the story. That don't rely on you. It might. Somebody might get mad at you for making a beat for me. But I'm not on this motherfucker dissing on wax. I'm just telling my story. But we'll stir people away from that real shit because I see they let a lot of corny motherfuckers do it. Soft motherfuckers that they know ain't really about that shit. A lot of niggas that go both ways and they represent us to the world and they make us look like clowns, and it's very disrespectful to somebody who really serious about what they stand on. But you will stand behind that, but you won't stand behind the real nigga. Where does that come from?
I know what you're saying. I get you. Um, it's motherfuckers like it's like, bro, people just want to see you put on. They want to see you popping. So if that motherfucker is just putting on and standing in the limelight, whether it's good or bad, you know what I'm saying? Like they popping. That's what people want to see. It's just fucked up situation, but it's true.
You know what? I think they don't want to work with people they fear. They want to work with niggas they know, man, that nigga ain't about nothing he talk about. But I'm gonna let him talk about it on this beat. You know what I'm saying? Cause I don't gotta, he ain't Suge Knight. So it's okay. But if a real nigga come and try to say the same shit that nigga who lying on that track, it's a problem. It's the issue. It's politics. It's this. It's that. What does that stem from? Is real niggas being rooted out, and only these, imitation LA wannabe gang members, because the shit originated where I'm from. Is that what it is? They don't respect the real.
Man, I wouldn't say, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Keep it real, Q. Keep it 100, my nigga. Because we know that shit watered down. It's so watered down when you go to them places and you hear about the murders and you see the shit on YouTube and these people getting into it and you finally go to the Chicago's, the New York's. It's nothing like Compton, Watson, LA ever could be. This shit is real. You know what I'm saying? And it's real in those places. People die all the time. The murder rate is even higher. But the essence of it, the authenticity to it, the way we do it, it can never be duplicated or imitated. You know what I'm saying? And these other people in these other little small towns and states that this side of town beef with that side, nigga. In one city, we beef with everybody. So what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? How is it this side? How is it the east side versus the west side when the east side is going against niggas on the east side? You know what I'm saying? We can't
right.
compare that kind of shit. And I want to know why are they watering it down to make it seem like, oh, it's so popping in Chicago and it's so going on. It can never compare to the land. Why would
It
they
ain't,
play like that?
I don't even say that they trying to say that, you know what I'm saying, that it's more popping than this, that, and the third, you know what I mean, this other place and all that. All they just saying is nigga that going down.
It's
You
50
know,
years of hip hop. In LA, it's probably about 70 years of gang banging. You know what I'm saying? Niggas used to ride around to the Isleys and do their thing. You know what I'm saying? This what that could.
right.
I don't think niggas was listening to Grandmaster Flash doing their thing, and we know they wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't nobody riding around the UGK doing their thing. So why the fuck now is niggas trying? Who in Chicago? Let me think of somebody. I can't even think of somebody from back in the day.
You don't think niggas is riding around the UGK doing anything?
I feel like niggas was set pocket full of stones and doing their thing and shit was going down, but it wasn't New Orleans.
No, it wasn't New Orleans.
No,
But
it
like you
wasn't New
said, but look,
Orleans, nigga.
but like you
It
said, every
wasn't the
place is
NO,
different.
nigga.
Every place is different though.
Every
That's why
place
you
is
really you
different.
can't compare them. Every place is different.
You
Niggas
can't
is not
compare it.
doing niggas in New Orleans is not doing what niggas in LA doing. Niggas in LA not doing what niggas in Chicago doing. Niggas in Chicago not doing what niggas in New York doing.
If you
You
ask
know what
me, Chicago got the ball when it comes to that. Chicago is like 96 LA.
I'm saying? Man,
You know what
let me
I'm
tell you.
saying?
Let me tell you.
Chicago took, but I'm talking about the influence because the influence came from the music. It didn't come from just normal regular. Niggas heard them songs. Niggas heard that shit. It was like
But where did
niggas
the music
heard.
come from?
Niggas heard like
But look, but
nigga,
where
this
did the
place
music
is.
come from? The music came is authentic. You know what I'm saying? The music came from niggas really doing the shit. So you know what I'm saying? You that's like to say what came first, the chicken or the egg.
So
You know what I'm saying?
if you in the Midwest, Crippin was super big to you through Snoop Dogg. Snoop is the biggest celebrity in the game. Everybody know about Crippin probably through Snoop Dogg.
Right. Facts.
Probably. And Snoop was the biggest motherfucker in the game, next to
Facts.
Tupac and Biggie. So who influenced this shit? And then Lil Wayne is the biggest blood. Niggas didn't start blooding anywhere until Lil Wayne started doing it. Anywhere out of state. Niggas wasn't doing that shit like that, putting it on like they doing now. That shit
Niggas,
wasn't as popular.
it
Crippin was so
migrated.
popular.
You gotta
You
think
know what I'm
about it. It
saying?
migrated.
It was some such of the Crip walk. It wasn't nothing such of the blood walk, right?
It's just like, okay, let's say you got let's say you got you and your three brothers, right? All y'all
Facts.
Crips. Now y'all come from LA and y'all move to Atlanta. Now it's three of y'all Crips. Now y'all going to school. Y'all start recruiting more motherfuckers. It just migrated. That's just like even with the Bloods. You know what I'm saying? It migrated. That's all that happened.
But I feel like it's all a popularity contest. It's not real, authentic what it is. So these kids is killing each other over something that ain't even really their essence. You know, I'm sure when you grew up in Atlanta, it wasn't no cripping and blooding.
It was Crips and blood. It was some Crips blood, some GDs too. But it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was. You have a mixture of everything, but it wasn't like a whole bunch of motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? You it here, a speckle here, some motherfuckers over here, like that.
Now, what is it like now with the younger generation?
The motherfuckers everywhere.
It's all over the place. You
The
know what
motherfuckers
I'm saying? Everywhere you turn, right?
right. And then you know what I mean, they ain't just Crips and Bloods, you got all type of shit now. That's what it just turns like you have all type of stuff now.
Where do you think this stemmed from? Because we black, right? And we fought for equal rights. We got watered down with hoses. We got bit by dogs. Martin Luther King died. Malcolm X died.
We're
And
not
for
our
us to integrate into the community with other people, and all we
we're not our
did,
ancestors.
all we did was segregate ourselves and treat ourselves like we the KKK. What do you think? Like I can't go on that side of town because I'm from this side of town.
We're our first off, we are our own worst enemies. You know what I'm saying? We are our own worst enemies. But at the end of the day, it's done as hell. We're not our ancestors. So a lot of shit now, back in the day, you know what I mean, motherfuckers had more morals, more ethics. Now it ain't like that. These motherfuckers living. I'm gonna live. I mean, I live tomorrow, so I'm gonna live it up. I'm gonna do whatever. That's why these youngers ain't scared to crash out. I may not even be here tomorrow. No way. It don't matter.
And you
They have
know, in
nothing.
my era,
They have
we
nothing to
felt
look
like
forward.
living past 20. In your era, living past 25 was like a achievement. But why is it like that in 2023?
2023, getting to 18 is a beautiful thing. I hate to say it, but it's true. For these young folks, they crashing. Like it don't make no sense. Like it's only gonna end up one way. Not give you two ways. It's gonna end up two ways. You either go kill them motherfuckers and you go get caught and you go to prison.
That's
Or you go
crazy.
kill a motherfucker and shoot it out with the police and let them kill you. What did you gain from for either one? Nothing. It's not worth it. And this is coming from somebody who I used to be out here like we used to be on it, but it's not worth it.
So, what do you think about the music versus the 90s and you know, the mid 2000s trap music? Then you got the Young Thug era, the Future era, and then you got now. What do you think? Because Lil Baby is killing it.
Little baby is yes, he's definitely killing it. He's the shit right now. Like in that generation, like he's him. You know what I'm saying? But you got, like you said, between the different eras or whatever, you have artists that have stood out. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is anyway. You have artists, okay, who get on, they be okay. They may have one or two songs to be good. Then you have the artists that bing and they stand out. And like it's like that through every era. And so
Gotta
you
be
have
like
some artists that you may be like, okay, yeah, a lot of this shit is watered down. A lot of this shit is garbage. But you got more than one art, you know what I'm saying, to stand out in them eras.
that's dope. So, tell us about some of the projects you working on, some of the stuff you got going on. Let the people know what to look for, and you know what you got going on right now.
Well, right now, like I say, main focus is this project with that boy Jizzle and Hitman Sammy Sam. Working on that. Also, working with R&B artist Willie for real, Willie Ritchie. That's what he called himself, Willie Ritchie. Working with him, he just actually dropped his project. I think I had like 4 or 5 on his project that I did. Um, Another one artist that I'm working with right now too. Also one of my business partners, Young Chaser. You know what I'm saying? We're putting together his album. He actually sings and raps, so we're putting together that album, trying to make that a classic.
And Q, I fuck with you the long way. We tied in now. So any of those artists that you want to send to the platform, do an interview, man, they more than welcome. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Send your artists my way. Send their music. I'll post it. You more than welcome on the platform. And anytime you want to come back on the platform, you're welcome. That's you giving some news they can use. You know what I'm talking about?
Appreciate it, man.
So
Definitely.
with the movie situation, what could they look for? Because I know you got movies too.
Yeah, so I'm working with, my boy T Michaels. We're working on
Shout out T.
yeah, we're working on something there. We think we're finna go a different way now and actually go animated such on the movie. But we also got some stuff I'm working with my boy Gigi. Shout out to boy Gigi. We putting together some stuff as well. As far as movies with people out of Jacksonville right now. And we're finna get that popping and get start shooting movies here in Atlanta, Florida, somewhere everywhere else. My boy Jizzle, shout out Atlanta Avenue. He's they're doing a lot of good work over there, Atlanta Avenue. Boys over there working hard,
That's
doing their
what's up.
thing.
That's
Y'all
what's
check
up.
that out, Atlanta Avenue.
Atlanta Avenue. Atlanta Avenue. Okay.
Right.
So with your boy from the franchise boys and all that, let us know when that project coming out.
So we actually just almost about ready to wrap up Jizzle's album by itself. You know what I'm saying? His solo album. But right now we're working on they're gonna do a mixtape project, him and Hitman Sammy Sam. So we're working on that. Probably done about 4 songs right now. Probably go do about you know what I mean, another 7, 8 more. And then
Okay,
we'll get
okay.
ready to drop that.
What's the name of the project? You got any names for the projects?
Nobody has a name for it yet. They're just it's just a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? They just getting in there working. And I guess when they wrap up the project, then they'll sit down and come up with the name for it and all that other stuff.
Okay. So here on the news you can use, we always ask this question, man. In the new era of hip hop, name some of the artists you messing with. Who you listening to? Who is in your playlist? Who you like?
Lil Baby, the baby, um, J. Cole, Jonah Lucas,
Okay, Jordan Lucas.
um, who am I leaving out? And like I say, I don't know if I can say new era because he's been around for a minute, but done. You know what I mean? That's what's in my playlist.
All right. What about producers? Who are some of the best producers out right now?
Out right now.
Yeah, just name a few. Off the top of the head.
ATL Jacob,
Yes, sir.
Wheezy,
Yeah.
um, mm, Metro Boomin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's a lot of
Metro going crazy, man. I see him and Drake going through a little situation right now. I'm like, wow. But yeah,
I ain't,
Metro,
I ain't see that.
yeah, man, you got to look into that. But I want to have you back, man. We got to have you back on here on the podcast, man. I fuck with you the long way. Um, Whenever you got time, whenever you got an artist, whenever you got a project, a movie, or anything going, you're more than welcome to be on the news. You can use.
Got you
Um,
exactly. And I want to also tell you, I forgot to tell you that not just that, but we're doing. Me and Jizzle has a podcast basically, but it's a different. It's not really your regular podcast. It's called Big Hustle Outdoors. And
okay.
what we do, we're going fishing and we're going hunting. And sometimes
Oh,
we'll
that's
be,
dope.
and sometimes we'll take some celebrities with us and stuff like that. That's what we're working on too now.
Oh man, I would love to be on the podcast, man. If y'all got some space for me. You know what I'm saying?
And you get out here, depends on what time of the year you get out here, we'll let you know whether we'll be fishing or hunting.
Yes,
Like
sir.
I've been
Yes,
hunting.
sir.
I've been hunting for the past. That's all I've been doing for the past couple weekends. I get up out of here. They already know. Don't call me for nothing. You better get me before Friday.
He said I'm hunting.
Yeah,
So yeah, man. This is the News You Can Use podcast, man. I got a new single out right now called God Got You. It's the only single out on platforms right now. Other than that, you can go on even.com, offer based, and get my new album I'm about to drop. It's some of my first music that I put out. So go check that out. You pay what you want for it. I'm gonna be doing a lot of shows. I'm gonna be doing another podcast and interview and just having, my boy Q jump in as a host. And this is the News You Can Use podcast. This is episode 15. And I'm about to get up out of here. You know what I'm saying?
appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. And we out.
All right.